Germany invented a way of fighting that made them one of the most dangerous armies on earth. It helped them tear through Poland, crush France in 6 weeks, and shock the world with how fast they could turn battlefield chaos into victory. But by 1944, something almost impossible was happening. German officers were watching enemy units fight the exact way Germany had pioneered. Only now it was American soldiers doing it better, faster, and more naturally than the army that created it. This is the story of that reversal, a military idea born in Prussia, refined for over a century, then turned into a weapon by Germany, before slipping out of their control as American soldiers began using it in the bloodiest parts of the war. Because the answer is not just about weapons or battle plans, it is about trust, leadership, initiative, and what happens when an army built to think becomes afraid to act. Germany did not lose to more men or more tanks. It began losing to its own best idea. December 1944. The Ardennes. Snow, pine forest, frozen roads, confusion everywhere as Hitler's last major offensive crashes into American lines. A German captain watches a small American unit pinned behind a railway embankment. Their officer is dead. He saw him fall. The fight should already be over. A unit without leadership should hesitate, break, freeze, wait for orders that will never come. But that's not what happened. 2 Americans disappear into a ditch. Not randomly, deliberately. 3 others shift left, spreading out, firing in short bursts into the woods. Another crawls backward through the snow, taps a rifleman on the shoulder, and suddenly a new firing position forms where nothing existed seconds before. No one stands up to take command, no one shouts, and yet the unit is moving like it has a plan. Not perfectly, not cleanly, but intelligently. The captain keeps watching, waiting for the moment confusion takes over. It never does. He lowers his binoculars and asks the question at the center of this story. Who is commanding these men? Germany should have understood exactly what it was seeing. For generations, their army was built around a doctrine called Auftragstaktik, mission tactics. The idea was simple. A commander gives the objective and the intent, not step-by-step instructions, then subordinates figure out how to achieve it. In other words, instead of controlling actions, commanders controlled directions. Mission tactics rejected over-control. It rewarded initiative. It assumed that lower-level leaders would face situations their commanders could not see. It meant acting fast. A road opens? Take it. A bridge is undefended? Seize it. A weakness appears? Exploit it immediately. That speed of action is what made early German campaigns so devastating. So when German officers in 1944 watched American units improvising under pressure, the humiliation wasn't that it was unfamiliar, that it was familiar. To understand why Germany valued initiative so much, you have to go back to disaster. In 1806, Napoleon crushed the Prussian army. Their system was rigid. Orders came from the top. Subordinates followed them exactly. It failed completely. So Prussia rebuilt its army around a brutal realization. War is chaos. Plans break, communication failed, leaders die. So instead of forcing control, they built an army that could think under pressure. Over time, that became culture. Commanders gave intent, not instructions, and that idea would later terrify Europe. When Germany invaded Poland and France, the results were shocking. Their units didn't wait. They moved faster than their enemies could react. They exploited confusion instantly. They made them seem unstoppable. France didn't collapse just because of tanks. It collapsed because Germany made decisions faster than anyone else on the battlefield. Thousands of small decisions made quickly by people trusted to act. That was their real advantage. When the United States first faced Germany, it looked nothing like that. In 1943, at Kasserine Pass, American forces were defeated badly. Units broke under pressure, coordination failed, leadership struggled. German commanders saw a rich but clumsy army, dependent on structure, not instinct. But they were wrong about one thing. This army was learning fast. That change becomes visible on Omaha Beach, June 6, 1944. Landing craft drift off course, units mix together, machine guns tear through the first waves. Officers are killed in huge numbers. The plan collapses almost immediately. Units are scattered, radios fail, men are pinned behind obstacles with nowhere to go. Some never even make it off the beach. And yet the attack doesn't stop. Small groups form out of chaos. Men who train together, mixed with men they have never seen before, suddenly fighting side by side. Men follow whoever moves forward. Engineers, infantry, rangers, mixed together, begin attacking from angles no plan had predicted. Someone sees an opening and acts, again and again. The Germans expected decapitation to cause paralysis. Instead, it created improvisation. By 1944, the US Army had changed. Combat experience hardened it. Leadership improved. Units adapted. But there was something deeper. Many American soldiers were used to solving problems on their own. So when the structure collapsed in battle, they didn't freeze, they acted. Germany took initiative from the top down. America was starting to produce it from the bottom up. Nowhere was this clearer than in Normandy. The hedgerows turned the battlefield into a maze. Short visibility, hidden ambushes, every field a trap. You could move 10 feet and disappear, or step forward and walk straight into a machine gun. German units used it well, but American units adapted. Small groups moved through gaps, flanked positions, probed for weaknesses, and then came a simple idea. Sergeant Culin, an enlisted man, helped create steel prongs for Sherman tanks, so they could punch through hedgerows instead of climbing over them. A small innovation, a massive effect. To the Germans, American fighting now looked messy, unpredictable, so that mess was becoming an advantage. So why couldn't Germany do the same? First, attrition. Mission tactics depends on experienced leaders. By 1944, Germany had lost too many of them, especially on the Eastern Front. Second, Hitler. As the war turned, he centralized control. He issued rigid no-retreat orders. He punished independent thinking, so leaders hesitated. Then they stopped acting altogether. An army built on trust became afraid to make decisions. Germany didn't lose its doctrine. It lost the ability to use it. At the same time, the Americans were moving in the opposite direction. They learned that waiting got people killed, and acting, even imperfectly, kept units alive. So trust began to grow. Units became harder to break. Leaders could die, and the fight would continue. The reversal was complete. Germany had the doctrine, but couldn't use it. America didn't invent it, but was living it. This isn't just history. Modern war is still chaos. The side that adapts faster at the point of contact still wins. Doctrine alone doesn't matter. What matters is whether an army can still think when everything falls apart. Go back to that moment in the show. A German captain watches a unit that should no longer function, but instead they move, signal, cover each other, adapt. He searches for the leader, but what he's really seeing is something far more unsettling. Command is no longer in one person, it's everywhere. The sergeant, the rifleman, the man in the ditch. Even the wounded soldier still firing to cover the others. The unit isn't waiting for leadership. It has become the leadership. Germany didn't lose because mission tactics stopped working. Germany lost because it stopped being the kind of army that could use it.